You speak of Armageddon, you have to speak of what people think Armageddon means. What are you saying when you say Armageddon? What are they saying when they say Armageddon? If you're talking about the confusion and destruction that happens at the end of an age, well, I guess Armageddon is here. If you're talking about the complete destruction and annihilation of the world, I don't think so. When is it going to happen? I don't know. It all depends on us. It's not written in the stars. So what do you mean, Armageddon? I don't know. I don't understand. What we are approaching is the end of a 2,000-year period. Every 2,000 years, the constellations, astrological signs, are directly behind the sun, or the sun is in that. If you were an astrologer, you would say the sun is in that house. It means that that is the constellation that is behind, directly behind the sun, and the earth wobbles. So what has happened is the earth is now tilted in that direction. The sun is here, and that constellation is behind. It takes 2,000 years for it to move out of that sign. At this point in time, the energies affecting the earth bring about various possibilities. It means that the energy that is affecting us, we will see the world differently, and it's a very subtle thing. So what we are beginning is a new 2,000-year period. What is happening is confusion. Confusion to those who don't see. You have to remember, one of the things about freedom is choice. You have choice. When you are not free to see another choice, then you are a victim. Then you become very confused because, do I want to go this way? Do I want to go that way? Well, I don't know. I'm just a victim. Whatever wind blows between my ears, I go with. The wind comes back the other way, I go that way. The wind goes up, I go up. The wind goes down, I go down. I'm a victim. So, part of the phenomena that are occurring are also occurring because the earth has now shifted. The plates shift differently, move differently because of the position of the earth. This is one of the things that makes all these things happen. Okay? So, you will have some yelling Armageddon when it's just a change. It is no different than spring or summer or winter or fall, just on a much larger scale. So there is an effect. It takes 25,000 years for that wobble to complete. You know, it's like when you do a top, the top spins, but yet at a certain point it begins to wobble like so. It takes 25,000 years, which is one cosmic year. Basically, it's the same thing. It just means that you'll be back at the constellation of January. That's all. After 20. As you move through each period, there is a difference. Now, the difference is the last 2,000-year period was of water. If you will notice, most all your discoveries had to do with water. Your major discoveries. Medicines were liquid. In steam engines, I don't know, all rocket fuel, okay, these things had to do with liquid. Now you're moving into the age of Aquarius, which is wave energy, which is like electricity, light, you know, microwaves. All of these things are now becoming the energy of choice. It is called the age of enlightenment. And it is called the age of enlightenment because wave energy breaks down barriers. There's only one problem. The idiots, those who are not so aware, go mad. And if you look around you, you're seeing increasing madness almost every day. Because the boundaries are down. There are no, the controls are being stripped. Well, you see, there's a choice. We can choose enlightenment, or we can choose madness. Okay? It depends on what you see. When everything comes down, I've often said this, you have to lose everything. When it comes down, you must be willing to look and to accept what you see. When you do that, the awakening happens. When you don't do that, then the awakening, I guess, to darkness happens. And you do other kinds of things. If you don't look to yourself, to that natural thing that is within you, called love. See, love takes care of whether you will do somebody wrong. It takes care of all of that. Whether you will kill, murder, cripple, kill, rape, plunder, pillage, whether you will do all of that depends upon whether you find the love that is within yourself. And that has to come about because one looks at oneself honestly and how you really feel. And deep, I don't want to say deep down, I almost said it, but that's not true. Within humankind is a natural phenomena that is a part of human consciousness just as much as cells are a part of your body. It is called love, unconditional love. That keeps you from going to the other side, to the dark side. This is the effect of what is happening. The age is changing. The energy is changing. We don't, the scientists or the concrete mind, or blockhead, if you will, does not allow one very small thought to penetrate. The environment of all living things affects the thing. Generally, we look and say we've got the trees, the cars, the blah, blah, blah. This is our environment. How ridiculous. How small-minded. The earth is in the cosmos. And all of the energy that is emanating throughout the cosmos that passed through the earth, from the sun, from everything else that is around it, affects the development of all things. It causes a change in the vibrational frequency. One of the things I will tell you about astrology, I'll say, throw it out. Throw it out in terms of how it will affect you, because its effect has already been had upon you. When, what do you call those little fellas? Sperm, yeah. Those guys, those little guys. When the egg is penetrated by the sperm, the vibrations that are happening at that point in time influence the development of the first organs of the body. All right? So as it moves and other organs are being developed, the vibrations that are happening at that time affect the development of the organs of the body. If you wish to try a scientific experiment, you can grow crystals. Take a set of crystals, put them somewhere isolated. Take another set of crystals from the same batch, put them in front of a speaker so that they will play music. The crystals will be different because they are forming under different vibrations. It will not be out of the range of being a human being. It will be within the range of being a human being, or within the range of being whatever it is that's being developed. So by the time the human being is fully formed and is born into the universe, I don't know that we can say that that is its birth sign. It is a combination of various vibrational frequencies. By the time it goes, well, the brain keeps on developing, at that point in time, but that's only a portion of the whole development of the individual. So I'm saying to you that there is an impact upon you, but a lot of the things that they talk about that, we can tell if you're going to do so. No, that is choice. Man has consciousness. Man has choice. We choose. The stars do not dictate to us. We choose. That is the power. If the stars dictated, it wouldn't be any need to make a decision. All you need to do would just sit down and go for the ride. Everything would just fall in your lap, just as the stars predicted. No, you are man. Do you understand what I'm saying here? They have an effect. But that effect is not to control you, but it develops you. If you notice, people are different. You can't say exactly how we are different, but we are different. There's a reason for that. There is a reason. There's a book on blood types and diet. Okay. Different blood types come from different parts of the world. I wonder why. Because the vibrational frequencies at those different points in the world are different. You intake these frequencies through the food you eat, through the development of your body. Okay. So you are affected by that. And that is just a chemical recognition that the difference does exist. Now, as you come here in America, you now have hybrids. You have hybrids from all these different places. People are mixing. The environment is different. People are eating differently. So, the children of those people who eat the foods that grow in that area because they are particular to the area, the development of children is different. The chemistry is a little different. Within the range of being human, but different. But we are different. We perceive differently. You are affected on a subatomic level by everything. Now you get all of these tiny effects that the gross mind doesn't pay any attention to because it's gross. It's coarse. It can't pay attention to the sand. It's looking at the boulders. Okay? Not realizing that it's all supported by the tiny, tiny boulders we call sand. If the water keeps washing away at the tiny boulders you call sand, eventually the big boulder is going to change its position. Something is going to happen. Because these things happen at a subatomic level, we do not believe that we are affected. But the evidence that you are affected is there. Mood swings. I see so-and-so. Why is it you don't see so-and-so? We're looking at the same thing. Why is... The way in which we perceive, even right down to the eye, the makeup of the eye, is different so that you're going to see different things. You probably, I don't know whether I'm in a better position than you are now. My eyesight is getting real bad, and I see things a whole lot differently than I saw them when I saw very clearly with my eye. Good or bad, I don't know. Certainly a lot more beneficial. Certainly. My father says, they castrated me. Probably the best thing ever happened to me. I had a conversation with a woman the other day. A real conversation. Good, bad? Well, things change. The vibration hits you. You perceive differently. Haven't you ever noticed that at different times of the day you feel differently? And that different people, all people do not feel the same way at the same time. You ever notice that? We are developing. Different people got pregnant at different times. Everybody didn't get pregnant at the same time. Okay? You got pregnant at different times. Different energies affected your makeup. So as the energies change, that makeup that you have is affected. It responds to that energy differently. If your brain was developed under Leo, probably you're going to be at your height of perception and thinking when the sun is in Leo. The vibrations are at home. It's like wearing a shoe that fits perfectly. All of a sudden the sun is in Virgo and you're a Leo. The shoe's a little tight. Still a shoe and you're still in it, but it's a little different. These are the effects. When you wake up, you know that. Sometimes it will take you a little longer to answer the question, but you will answer the question because you have a choice. You see the choice. If you are not, you'll answer the question, maybe kinda, because you're looking at it differently, so you have to take your time. You have to see. There are effects. There are. And because we are super people, we don't believe that. It's there. How could it not? How could it not? Do you know that galaxies collide? A galaxy. 15 billion stars. 15 billion over here, 15 billion over here. Come into an intersection with no stoplight, no cop. Bam! Does it make a noise? No. Sets up one hell of a vibration. That throughout this universe. Now, let's look at it another way. Let's bring it to the physical. Radiation. If it is a particle, we call it physical. If we call it a vibration, we're talking about the wavelength. There are tiny, tiny little particles. They are constantly striking and bombarding your body. Not just your body, but your brain.
And they go through that. You may think that thing is real hard, but they right through there and shakes the old brain up. When you're talking about energy flows, this is what we're talking about. They come in through the top, and we're talking about energy flows that come from the bottom. We're just taking out the mystique right now. We're just saying radiation. How about that? Can you deal with that? Like an X-ray. Okay. In the finer vibrations is thought, or at a greater level, consciousness that's coming in there. The more open you become, the easier and more stuff comes in. But when you're all tight and squeezed up and crap, you're locking it up and little consciousness is out there. There's an old song years ago, "Open the door, Richard." Let me in. Okay. No. You get that in, it vibrates, it moves, it keeps it alive, it keeps it going, it keeps it vibrant, it keeps it working. That's why you sit down and you meditate. Don't misunderstand. You don't have to sit in a lotus position. You know, we think that, we're sitting in the lotus, the pyramid position. It's hitting you in the head anyway. You know, whether you're standing up, lying down, it doesn't matter. You are in this great cosmic soup. Okay? Just let it in. Let it do what it does. It is not just vibration. Vibration is the movement of something. When great galaxies collide, space is the medium through which it moves. Space is not a non-thing. Space is a thing. It is a medium. It is a very thin medium. Look at the progression from the hardest to the softest. Look at it. Metal, minerals, rocks, flesh. See how much softer it's getting. Plants. See how much softer. Water, air, light, space. You see, it's all right there. It's all right there. You understand what I'm saying? It is a thing. You live in this thing. And like water, do you know that whales can call out over 500 miles in the ocean? They don't have to use AT&T or anything. No cellular phone. Just holler out, yo! 500 miles. Don't be there when I get there. How's the fishing? Because the medium transfers, something hits it, bam, it vibrates the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, on and on. It depends upon the vibratory frequency as to how far that can be transmitted and the things in it. If it's a very low frequencies can go for hundreds of miles, thousands of miles, and pass right through solid objects. Higher frequencies, like your voice, are absorbed by rocks and things like that. When things happen in space, the frequency, imagine the vibratory frequency set up by colliding galaxies. and it is transferred through this medium. It's a very low. Right. I mean, these are like super, 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 ultra, what's that, red, infrared, and it takes it so long to pass through, you don't even know it's there. It's a part of your makeup. But yet, it affects each and every cell of your body. Each and every cell of your body. You've got all kinds of things going on in the environment that you know as space. I've said to you before, the point of infinity is a star. The transition point between form and non-form, or any fire. It lets loose the radiation. These are the vibrations. Think of how many stars. They pointed the Hubble telescope at one little point in space where there was apparently no light coming from. Little tiny place. You're trying to get away from all the brighter stars and all that. And when they pointed it there, they found an area that contained something like 1,500 galaxies in a space between the stars that you could not pick up with your eye. 1,500, having somewhere in the neighborhood of 15,000 stars in each one. Do not believe you are not affected. And that's just one little tiny spot that they were looking at that way. Now, how many ways are there to look? Only a fool would think they were not affected. Only a fool. That'd be like being a fish in Lake Michigan, thinking you're not affected by the water. Wouldn't make any sense, okay? But we're foolish enough to live on the planet and do all sorts of things to the planet and think, well, we're all right. We're not affected by it. So, there is the effect. I have said it over and over again. Study the living book. You. You're it. Go back to a very basic concept that no one really likes to pay any attention to. First of all senses are the sense of touch. All of them. We say we have a sense, touch, smell, taste. We have one sense, touch. You don't touch it, it doesn't touch you, you don't know what the hell it is. You don't even know that it exists. Sight. I see you, no, you do not see me. Light bounces off of what you think you see. To your eye, when the light touches your eye, when it touches, everything is upside down. It turns it around, decodes it, your brain, and says, oh, I see Kathy. No, you see the film being developed in your eye. You have this Polaroid that you keep developing over and 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 over again. Now, there is information in the light. What do you think these thoughts and ideas are that you're getting? It's radiating you saying, here, let's see if we can stuff some more information. Let's put this in form in your head. Well, I had a thought, but I didn't believe it. Information. You have a translator in there that translates this stuff, puts it together, and tells you what's going on. Just like your eye. Every sense is a sense of touch. When you inhale little bits of whatever that is that the radiation is hitting and knocking off little pieces of it, bam, into the air, and you actually touch little pieces of it and you go, wow, damn, hamburgers, onions. Mm-hmm. You are literally tasting it. Little pieces of it. So information is being given and decoded.